Welcome to the Frustration to Freedom podcast. My name is Mike Bemis, Senior Advisor, Development Consultant at Simplicity Minneapolis. I got my co-host and partner in crime here, Jeremy Karja, also Senior Advisor, Development Consultant at Simplicity Minneapolis. We got a unique topic today, Jeremy, that I'm pretty excited to talk about. I know I'm excited about everything, but this is a key thing that I think there's a lot of people, there's AI out there, there's ChatGPT, there's all these publications out there, and I think there's a trust problem in the United States. Would you agree, Jeremy?
Yeah, 100%. Look at the news.
Look at the news, and the news is everything is bad, right? And so actually, I think one of the ways to differentiate yourself and to dominate your area, like remember I said dominate your area, okay, is to learn how to develop trust with a client.
Yeah.
And Jeremy and I are going to go over something today that, we have a free training. Jeremy, I think you should talk about a little more free training with one of the coaches at Simplicity Group, Jason Jenkins, did $40 million a year, senior advisor in the country. And one of Jason's core coachings that you can come to for free. All you have to do is book a flight and hotel. Yes, I said free. You just have your flight and hotel, which is very inexpensive. You can get a full day and a half with Jason on how he connected with his clients. What was his closing ratio, Jeremy?
I believe somewhere in the 95% range.
So you can be with the Senior Advisor of the Year at a 95% closing ratio and come to coaching for free. You just have to get yourself there and pay for your hotel.
Yep. And learn things like your founder's story. And speaking of story, I'll tell you this quick story, Mike. When I first got into working with IMOs, FMOs 13 years ago, before I moved from Allianz, my dad asked me what I did. And I told him, I said, well, I'm going to help recruit advisors, coach them, teach them a system, and help them grow their business. And he said, okay, that sounds like is that some sort of pyramid scheme, Jeremy? And and I told him, no, Dad, it's a real business. Let me try it a different way. Imagine as you a general contractor, if you had the best top general contractor in the country say, hey, you can come to my training for free, Brad, and I'm going to teach you exactly how I do 10, 20 times the amount of business you do. I'm going to teach you all my systems, tools, processes, marketing, everything A to Z, and I'm going to do it at no cost. You just got to get on a plane and get yourself there. And he's like, how do I find that guy in my business? So I mean, the truth is that anyone who's on this call, when you have just a general business owner give you the deal that you can get trained by the best of the best in your industry at no cost, every other business would know that is an immediate sign me up, get me there. What do I have to do? When's the next one? Mm-hmm. And that's the type of urgency everyone who's listening should have when we tell you that we have an AST training by Jason Jenkins coming up. The next one is, I believe, November in Atlanta. I believe November 17th to the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. So you want to get to those trainings. They will absolutely change your business forever.
Change your business.
And you're going to learn things like crafting your founder story. And Mike, do you want to give a quick example on how a founder story is different than the 60-second elevator pitch that we've all been told as business owners and as salespeople?
It's differentiate yourself. So let's step back one second. Where is a founder story appropriate? Well, at the beginning of your seminar.
Yeah.
I have somebody come in for a first appointment. I have a referral I've never met. You want to tell them a little about who you are and why you love what you do, right? It's not about, I've written 4 books. I went to Harvard. I went to Yale. I got my finance from XYZ place. Look at all the letters after my name. Here's the 4 books I've written. Which one do you want to read? It's nothing about that. Correct. It's about connecting with the client and being authentic and just helping them understand you're a real person that loves helping people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. 100%. Yeah. To me, the difference is your elevator pitch, you're kind of telling them a little bit about what you do, right? You're trying to like show them, hey, here's kind of what I do, here's how I do it. And you may have some compelling, hey, we can really help you save money, or, whatever piece you add in there. And that's good. But the next level, the top level, getting your PhD in something like that, is crafting a founder story that moves people emotionally. We're going to talk left brain, right brain, and people buy with their emotions, with their heart, not with
Yep.
their brain, right? It's so I think the key with the founder story is it just goes a lot deeper. And yes, at a seminar, when you meet somebody for the first time, there's a few different spots you can use it, but founder story is crucial. And I promise you, as good as you think your story is, with this process and this workbook we work through with our advisors, it will be 10 times better.
It'll be 10 times better. So what we're going to walk through today is that workbook. We're not going to go deep into it. Obviously, we can't do that today, but this is an individual project that you could do with Jeremy or myself. So we do this with our advisors. So if you haven't crafted your founder story, you can book a time with us. We'll talk about that at the end, right?
Exactly.
And we will, you can get started with us, and we will actually help you craft your founder story by using this workbook. So we work through this workbook with our producers all the time. So let's get rolling with the workbook.
Storytelling and the impact. So, Mike, why does the founder's story work in your opinion?
Well, I think it allows you to connect with the client. It allows you to kind of mentioned before. It allows you to engage with them through their emotions and connection with other. It allows you to relate with them. It allows you to differentiate yourself. That Jeremy, you're talking about second, triggering the logical part of the brain, but also triggering the emotional part of the brain, and really saying, okay, this person's not here to sell me something.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's again emotions. Like I could tell you stories about advisors who did the perfect presentation to the picture perfect client, and they didn't buy. They didn't move
Mm.
forward. I could give you a bunch of stories. And why didn't they move forward? They didn't engage the emotions, the heart. And if you're not going to engage that piece where most people buy, maybe a few engineers and CPAs don't, you're not going to get very far, is the
Yep.
bottom
If
line.
if it's all logical, sometimes they don't buy off logic.
Correct. Yep. So here's a little bit of the science, right? You got left brain, you got right brain. You got left brain, gets the job done, thinking in words, sequences, linear thinking, mathematics, all that is part of the left brain. Right brain is going to be that paints the pictures. It gives you the feelings, visualization, imagination, rhythm, everything, right? You
Yep.
must engage both sides to really make a sale. So if you're not engaging both sides and you're all left brain or you're all right brain, you're not going to get the sale done. You have to have both sides. And what we mean by that is, of course, we're dealing in math, right? We're all in the financial world. We're going to automatically engage the left brain because we're going through different things to show them how to solve different problems and issues they have in their retirement and other areas, right? So
Mhm.
engaging the right side that paints the picture is really one of the biggest keys. So do you want to add anything there, Mike? Why
Yeah,
it's
I mean, it also goes back even to the questions we ask in that first appointment. This is also around the psychology in that, and we've talked a lot about how much income do you want, not just that you need, right? If we're going to the wants, that's where we're going to the right brain, right
yes,
side of the brain, right? And
correct.
so getting you that $15,000 a month, what does that really mean for you? What does that allow you to do? Does that allow you to spend your time with? What memories are you going to be able to create by having that $15,000 a month? That's where we're actually engaging the right brain. We got to the $15,000 a month using the left brain, but they're actually going to make their decision because we engaged the right brain, right?
Exactly. That's a great way to put it, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got 10, 20%, as it says, that's going to be engaged, like you said, on the math of it and the pure facts of, hey, I know I need to have money for the rest of my life, for the rest of my retirement. I get that intellectually. But then when you tell me this is going to be the key to me taking to my grandkids on that Disney cruise every year, this is going to be the key to me golfing with my buddies in Europe, right? Every
Mhm.
single year. This is going to be the key to me not being in a tough spot where I can't support my spouse if I were to pass away, right? All those engages the right brain and the emotions, and that's really where the sales made.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome.
So
All right.
moving on, trust chemical oxytocin. Why is that important, Mike?
Well, it goes back to connecting with them. It's the the love chemical. It's a pivotal role in creating trust,
Hmm.
and not that you're gonna actually love all your clients, but I mean it's where you're starting to create that connection. Um, so let's really go into the storytelling structure.
Okay.
So as you build your founder story, we're going to give you an example here at the end. Okay, it really there's going to be a normal, an explosion. So a normal is, hey, here's where I started. Here's how I got in the business. Explosion is here's the emotional thing that happened. Here's the change. And now because I've had that change in my life, I've had this event happen to me. I've had uh, uh, this event with a client. I've had this event with one of my family members. Something happened in my life that I changed, and now here's the new normal. Here's what's happening now because of that change. And
Yeah.
so, um, this is how we started. This is the big emotional thing that happened, explosion, and now the new normal. Now here's what's happening. Here's why I do what I do. Here's why I'm sitting in front of you today. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Awesome.
Like that. Mike, so again on the structure here, we're seeing if somebody's building their story, they have to start somewhere. That's kind of like the normal where you're at,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And
Correct.
then you have the explosion. That's the description of the turning point in the story that really starts to move people and starts to really engage that right side of the brain, that artistic side of the brain, that emotion, right?
Yep.
And then the new normal. And here's the way it is now.
Yep.
And when you do that, we know that storytelling, I forget the exact stats, but isn't it like 10 times more likely to remember a story versus facts and figures?
100%.
So when you tell a compelling story, especially an emotional story, you will remember that. You may go to an event and hear Jason speak about a few facts. Now he speaks in a lot of stories because he knows this fact, but
I
but
love the stories.
somebody else is training and you go there and you listen to all these details and they tell you here's how to do a seminar and this, here's how to do XYZ, but you forget a bunch of it. But you don't forget, if and everyone right now is listening, if you think about the last training you went to, you remember a story or two from that training.
Yep.
You remember what they said about this or how this impacted their life, and a couple stories, right? Especially if it was an emotionally moving story. And that's what we're getting to here, basically, with the
Yep.
structure, right, Mike?
Yeah, a little plug. We always have our top producers or a success story at one of our coaching events, like October 3rd through 2nd coming up here when this is being recorded is going to be our next quarterly.
Yep,
And we always have your peers up on stage talking about the success they have. Why? So you can learn from it, right? So you can have the most connections. So you're not the only one. You're not the only one out on an island, right?
they're going through it
So
too.
going through it too. All right,
And
let's go ahead. Sorry.
that just made me think of another quick plug. So we have an October, what is it, 5th, 6th, 7th, Mike, training with Mike
Yes, that's right.
Starenka,
Yes.
$40 million advisor. And then we have November 17th in Atlanta, $40 million advisor, Jason Jenkins. So we have two, is that correct, Mike? Two people who do 40 million
Two.
that you can actually learn and get trained from and at no cost, or is it's 10 grand per session, right? To get in the
It,
door.
it, it, it's free.
It's free. It's
I would say
should
that
be.
there's one thing that you need to get in the door:
What's
a
that?
little bit of paid premium.
A little bit of paid premium
A little
gets
bit
you.
of paid premium, and
Yep,
you get that's your ticket.
that's your
And
ticket
then
in.
That's your ticket,
Right.
get in. And then all you need to do is get yourself there. If you drive, if you fly, or you take, carrier pigeon, air balloon, whatever you want to do, and then pay for where you stay. And typically, we have a discount rate on the hotels, which makes it easy for you.
It's incredible. Yeah, the success stories you hear who come to these trainings 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20 times at both trainings is incredible. So it
Yeah,
obviously works, Mike. So we just can't emphasize that enough. Get yourself to training, book some time with us, and we'll teach you how to get in the door and get into these trainings. They do fill up fast when it opens up. The November one's not open yet, but it fills up fast. And that one will have in the neighborhood of, 150 to 200 people. I forget what that room holds, but you want to get in there fast. And then we
yeah.
have the October training. That one fills up fast too. So you don't want to mess around. You do want to get that as soon as it does open up. Anything you want to speak about the storytelling elements before we jump into the rest of the workbook, Mike?
No, I think we can kind of skim through the rest of the workbook. I think, and we can do an example here at the end.
Yeah.
Just understand that we have this worksheet for you. It helps you build your story. It helps you, hey, what was my normal? What are some, what happened in my life that could be a change? That would be my explosion, right? So this document, really, what it does, it helps you framework your story so that when you book a time with us, we can go through it together and we can perfect it, and we can say, hey, I like what you did here. Why don't we tweak this part, right?
Yeah.
Um, and
A lot of it
so,
is like, just getting your brain going to help activate where that story might be and help uncover that story as you go through these workbook and answer all these questions. And then you fill this out, get this all ready. If you need our help filling it out, we're happy to walk you through that as well. But fill it out, email it to us, and then we'll walk through it together to help compose your story and get you exactly in the spot where you have a compelling story that engages that right brain. And again, you can use it in person events, virtual events, office meetings, everything. But that's I think the big key. And Mike, am I correct? You're going to share your story with us here so they can get a little example of a
I'm,
founder
I'm, gonna,
story.
I'm gonna share my founder story just so you
All
guys
right.
get a little example of what it is. So, how
Yes.
why am I here? Why am I at this microphone today? Right? Talking with you, Jeremy. Well, it all started. Jeremy and I have known each other for a long time. If you ever, when you come to coaching, we'll tell the story. But started as a temp at Allianz many moons ago. Worked my way up all the way up to one of the top internal wholesalers at Allianz, and learned a ton about the industry. It was a lot. It was a lot of fun. Great company. 2008, 2009, things went crazy. One of the top guys got let go. Why? Still don't know. Okay. Had all these FMOs that wanted to hire me. I didn't want to work with any of them. No offense to those ones, but I didn't see how they helped agents. I saw that they had widgets. I saw that they had little gimmicks. Hey, I'll get you this extra comp, but no producer was actually growing from that. Fast forward 3 years through Jeremy, I met Simplicity. I met Mike Stranka. I met Jason Jenkins. I saw that I could actually coach advisors and help them grow their business. I could help them with their first appointment, their second appointment, help them hire staff, help them get in front of more people. And I saw that I could really add value to their business. And I got two stories that I want to tell you about. These are two of some of my favorite stories. One, I'm going to change the names. The first is going to be Bob. Bob was doing 45 million forever, probably 6, 7 years. Couldn't get over the hump. Doing 2 hour appointments, 2 hour preps, for his appointments, and couldn't see more people because he didn't have more time. Well, what we did is we helped tweak his first and second and his prep time, where he was now prepping for appointments only 30 to 45 minutes. And as the second appointments, he was closing $600,000 sales in 20 minutes. He went from 5 to 15 to 20 million in business in 2 years. And the cool thing, what I love, is 2 weeks ago, I got to ride in his one of a kind Jaguar, only 6 of them in the United States. That was pretty fun. And then the smile on his face was awesome. Second one, I'm going to call her Sally. She was at 3 to 4 million a year in annuities for years. And we started implementing the systems of the process and the income planning. And we also started coaching her staff because she had a big staff. She was the money maker, but her staff did a lot. So her staff knew all the systems as well. And she went from 3 to 8 to 15 to now she's over 20 million every single year in annuities. She's growing her AUM like crazy with Simplicity Wealth right now, which is so fun to see. Okay. But here's where I got real is last year she had to have a surgery and she didn't know how it was going to go. And she was concerned if she could ever go back again. And, she was afraid. And she didn't know what's going to happen with her business. Well, here's what happened. Thankfully, the surgery went well and she's back, but she was out 2 months. Guess what? Her business never stopped. We had all the systems in place. The business ran itself. And she had a great year last year, even with all those hiccups. And that's why I do what I do, because I love helping producers grow and see success. I love seeing their income skyrocket to the top. I love seeing them on the trips. I love doing what I do because I help thousands of people retire and they have no idea who I am. So that's why I'm at this mic today.
Love it. Woo! That's what people applause.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, I love that. Now, everyone listening, you're going to remember those two stories, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Because they moved you. You could see yourself in those advisors' positions, right? You could see yourself doing the same thing. Maybe you see yourself today in that position and you're kind of where they were a few years ago. And so I just love a good founder story that moves people and has a good stories that you're going to remember. So thank you for sharing that, Mike. So we don't want to go too long, but I will tell you, if you want to develop a more powerful, moving founder story, give us a call, book some time. We'll help you fill out this workbook. You can fill it out and we will walk through how to develop a powerful, moving founder story. In fact, if you work with Simplicity and you do some premium with us, we'll actually let you go to we have a full TV studio where people do their TV interviews, all sorts of things where you can actually go and, create your founder story video and you can put that at the seminars. One of my top guys who does 30 million a year, he has a recorded video of his founder story and it is moving. It is very compelling because he talks about his dad dying and the impact that had. And then now taking care of his mom. And he's got little, pictures of his mom in the video. And that is extremely compelling. People see it and they feel his story. So we can do that as well in a video format if you'd like. And that's very compelling too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's awesome to do at the beginning of seminars or have on your website. That Simplicity can help you create. So, all right. If you want to build your founder story, come book a call with Team Elevate, and you're going to get Jeremy or I directly, and we will help you build your founder story, and we will help you grow your practice, and we'll help you be in those trips. We'll help you get that one-of-a-kind car, and we'll help if something happens to you, your practice still keeps rolling.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, let's go.
Let's go.